The title of my book is President's Day, and the author and the illustrator are Anne Rockwell, and the pictures by Lizzie Rockwell. And the ISBN number is on the back, and the ISBN number is 978 006 050 1952. I'm sorry. Again, it's 978 006 050 1952. And the text that I have for this book that I'm using are history. The students understands the origins of customs, holidays, and celebrations. The student is expected to A. Describe the origins of custom, holidays, and celebrations of community, state, and nation, such as San Juanito Day, Independence Day, and Veterans Day. 2. History. The student understands how historical figures, patriots, and good citizens helped shape the communities, state, and nation. The student is expected to A and C. A is identify contribution of historical figure including Sam Houston, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and Martin Luther King Jr., who have influenced the community, state, and nation. And C is compare the similarities and differences among the lives and activities of historical figure and other individuals who have influenced the community, state, and nation. So now I will give you a little summary about this book. This is a really nice book to read in a class, and I read this in my class. It was really fun to read, and the summary is it's a little play that some students are playing in school. First, they talked about their President's Day and when they celebrated, and it's George Washington and Abraham Lincoln's birthday, and they're both born in the same day, and how and how people go and vote. It talks about that. This is the whole page. It talks about voting, and here these are a few students. They are helping each other to celebrate the President Day. They are doing a play in the school, so they are working all together. They're cutting, they're stirring and cooking flour paste and tearing strips of newspaper for paper mache. So here they are working all together for paper mache. And then this is the picture, this is the story. So right here, these are 4 students who who were the mountain of paper mache that they made, and then they're telling that they are Mount Rushmore. And as you can see, there is a president: George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. And in here, there's one student who is about to act as a George Washington, and she is becoming a George Washington because her birthday is same as George Washington. But the thing is, George Washington was, if he was alive, he must be like 100 years old, and she's just 6 years old. And right here, she's right here, and she's telling how in deep voice George Washington is saying that I led the American people when they fought to be free from the King of England. And they talked about here, and as you can see, there's an American flag, and they are talking right here, and they in a boat. The whole thing is a play that they are playing in a school. And right here, this little kid right here, he is acting as Abraham Lincoln. And why? It's because he's the tallest kid in the class. And as you can see, this is, I will do like that. As you can see, it's ripped apart in two different pieces. Teacher's giving the flag, the whole map, the United States. And right here, this is the main picture. As you can see, he's tall. And the main thing about this picture I will show is how they tape these pictures. And now I will tell why. Because here, Abraham Lincoln is telling, I am the 16th president of the United States, and I kept the United States together when it splits in two. That's why it's 1, 2. It splits in two. So they're showing splits in two. I said a house divided against itself cannot stand. And I mean it. We fought a long war to keep our nation together. That's why it's called the United States of America. United means many sticks together like one. And over here, Nicholas is the one who is such a good writer, working hard, but still cannot find what he really wants to write. And now we will know why. What is he writing? So over here, as you can see, he's all happy, all excited, and he said, it's done. He stood above the audience and said, good morning, my name is Thomas Jefferson. So yes, he is playing a role of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States. And he said, I wrote something called the Declaration of Independence that told why we wanted to be free from England. It's pretty good, if I do say so myself. He started to read what he wrote, but suddenly, Jessica came. This girl is Jessica, groping out the hobby horse, and this Jessica is playing the role of Theodore Roosevelt. And Theodore Roosevelt was the one who always stays sick when he was a kid, and then loved to go outdoors, and then later on, that's why later on he set aside more land to be national parks where plants and animals could always be wild. And right here is Pablo and Evelyn. These two students are playing the role as well, and then carrying the lawnmower. They had painted giant redwood trees and Grand Canyon, Old Faithful spouting, and animals in the Everglades. And then finally everyone came out, and they are here. The paper mache, these are the students that were covered before, and now they're showing their faces with the paper mache, the mountain, and they're going down, and the boat, while everyone in the audience were clapping for them. And then here, over here, what they're trying to do is, now the play is done, but what they're about to do over here is they are doing votes. They are voting for the they're doing a vote in the classroom, and they are, writing their names and voting for each other who they think is the best student to be the class president. So it just tells over here who they pick and who they didn't pick. But over here is one of the main lessons, that what they played the whole thing, what they know, who should be chosen, and which quality that person should have, must be caring. And so over here is George, like she said, oh, guess what, I won, just like George Washington. Yes, she won, and she became the classroom president. So just like Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt, and today President of the United States. So she's really happy, and time by time they're just gonna, of course, switch, and whoever gonna be next president. And in the last page, it's all about 4 presidents: George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and Theodore Roosevelt. Also, one thing I really like about this is in here, when they talked about Theodore Roosevelt, they also mention Teddy. It was really hard for my students to pronounce Theodore Roosevelt, the whole name. So I really like how it also mentioned in this book which other name that we can say it easily. And some of my students was pronouncing Theodore, some was pronouncing Tudor. So it was really easy for my students to pronounce Teddy. But it is important that they should know his real name. So they should know. And by the end of the lesson, they knew what his whole name is. So that was one of the best things that I had in my lesson. I think this book is, I will recommend this book and I will support that because this book was really good. One thing, it talks, the students are the one who are involved in this. They are the one who are playing a good role and acting as a president. They are playing. So it's one of the main reason that I always say if we involve kids, they learn more. So I was reading to them. They were fully involved in my lesson when I was teaching them. When I was reading to them, I was asking them questions, but they were also asking me questions. It was like, why he holding American flag? Why he's not holding an American flag? Why he's acting like this? Why these people are in line? Why there's a child? And who is she? She dressed up different, I can tell. Yes, you can tell she's an Indian lady. Yes, but guess what? Yes, she can vote too. So yeah, that's why she's here. And like, not only young adults, there's like old lady as well who is here and vote. And there's a different race. So it's not only one race people can vote. Not only white can vote, or only black, or only Indian, or other race. Everyone can vote. So this is one of the main reasons I really like this book, and I will recommend it. This is a nice book. Children are involved. Adults are involved. Children's doing activities. It's not like only adults can do and children can't. Oh, children are participating here. They are participating in every little thing. I will not only recommend this book in my social studies, I will also recommend this book and have this book in my class. If I have my own class, then I would have this book. Even though if I'm not teaching social study and if I'm just teaching English, then I will just have this book in my English class as well to read on regular days on there. When there's a shared reading or interactive reading, or individually there's a time then they have to read, I will have this book because this is something that students are learning something. There's a lesson. I really like this picture. I will show this picture again closely. This is two different pieces. One piece, they had it. They ripped the paper apart and then they tape it. And it says, I kept the United States together when it split in two. Yes, Abraham Lincoln. When I'm teaching, if I already taught this lesson and I really did not have enough time, so one more thing that I would like to do is show videos of Abraham Lincoln and George Washington to go in more details. My students all had George Washington and Abraham Lincoln book in their bands. So after we got done reading, done with our lesson, they were reading those two books over and over to understand more. But I also want to show them some videos, and I also want to have some kind of game or the same thing that is in this book. I want to do it so they can understand more, because the more students are involved, the more they will learn. Oh, and also one more thing that I like about this book is there are many students who are, they're shy to come up and speak, but they do want to participate. It's not like they don't want to participate, they do. So like there are 4 students right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. They are not. They covered their faces here. All you can see is their legs and the president's and their hands. But later, as you can see over here, it's them, And later on, they're here. And these are the 4 kids. And as you can see, they are happy. They are smiling. They are the one who participated as well. So it's not like who can be in there, who cannot be in there. Every race is in there. As you can see, there are not only one particular race. I'm seeing a lot of different races here. So I will not say, oh, this book is not appropriate, or this book is, there's a racism in it, or anything, because to me this book is good. I am teaching 1st grade at this moment, so this book is perfectly fine for them. Even for other kids who are older than their age, or who is in 2nd grade and want to read this book, I will say nothing wrong with that. Even parents, if they want to just read this book to kindergarten, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, because this book is perfectly fine. So I would recommend this book, and I just wish that I had more time in class so I would be able to go in more detail. I mean, of course, after on that week, we went in more detail. But when I was teaching my lesson, I just wish that I had more time, so I can go in. If I had more time, I think I was able to go in more details. But I didn't have that much time on that day, so whatever I wrote in my lesson, I did went on that. But if I have to teach this lesson again, then I would try my best to involve my students more by acting, by being someone such as Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, and we can act, and we can play a little game. Someone must be acting as Abraham Lincoln, and then we might have I might have some students guess who is he acting like, what is he saying, who said that. I mean, did George Washington say that? Did Abraham Lincoln is the one who said this, such and such thing? So I will play a little game. So it will be fun in the same time, and my students will be learning. So it's fun to learn, and while learning, it's fun. So I would say, if I have to teach this lesson, I would make sure that I add a little games in it. And when I started teaching this lesson, I had national anthem. That was the first thing that I played. And I will, if I have to teach this lesson again, I will play the national anthem first again, because that's the first main thing that stands to me. National anthem. And I would like to play the same President Day song that I played, because that song was really awesome. And I will end this video with the national anthem and then the President Day song. And now I will play the President Day song.
The president is in charge of the nation. Let's all have a celebration. Let's remember Washington and Lincoln. Without them, our country would be sinking. George Washington, the first president, the father of his country, they named him. His face is on a quarter and a $1 bill. In the Revolutionary War, he was a general. People salute George Washington. Our capital city is named after him. He had white hair and a white frilly collar. Some say he chopped down the cherry tree of his father. The president is in charge of the nation. Let's all have a celebration. Let's remember Washington and Lincoln. Without them, our country would be sinking. Abraham Lincoln was his name, but some people called him Honest Abe. His face is on a penny and a $5 bill. He was the 16th president. What a thrill! He fought against slavery in our nation with the Emancipation Proclamation. He had a big beard and a big top hat. He lived in a log cabin. How about that? The president is in charge of the nation. Let's all have a celebration. Let's remember Washington and Lincoln. Without them, our country would be sinking.
Thank you for watching.